This video is brought to you by Craven's Comic Books and Collectibles. Check out their weekly live show, auction, and sale at facebook.com/Craven's Comics every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. And you can check out their inventory at cravenscomics.com. Craven's Comics, for the comics you crave. He is an actor, director, poet, entertainer, and he's on to talk about his new film, The Fabulous Filipino Brothers. Welcome to the program, Dante Basco.
How you doing? I'm happy to be here. How you guys doing? James, Andrew, what's popping?
Doing pretty good.
Thank you. We're doing great. It's great to talk to you. I get to actually talk to somebody from the Fire Nation. It's it's exciting, but of course we'll get to that later. We'll deal with what the current stuff first.
Yeah. No, definitely.
It's been a crazy, it's been a crazy year in COVID, just trying to keep busy like everybody else, stay creative.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And well, I guess during the pandemic, that's when you did most of your editing for this film, right?
Yeah, I was lucky to have my principal photography shot before COVID hit, and then when COVID hit, we were in the middle of the editing process, and I got to edit a lot of stuff remotely with my editor, Brian, and man, it's my directorial debut. So after working in the industry for 35 years now, I finally get to direct a film, and it's the Fabulous Filipino Brothers.
Yeah, the Fabulous Filipino Brothers, which is definitely a quite the family affair. It's you and your real life brothers. It's based on family stories. Your parents are in it. Your aunts and your uncles are in it. The script was written by you, your brothers, your sisters. Your sister is narrating. So having this whole family affair, having all these great, moments to have with your family and put on film. When you have your brothers and your sister and your parents as actors, is it easier to get the performance you're looking for out of them because of your already close nature?
Well, yeah, or definitely. When we're my brothers, we all studied together. My sister, we all studied together in acting classes and drama schools our whole lives, over 20 years. And so it's very rare to say that, when actors I'm working with, I've seen every performance they've done in their lives, every single performance, every stage performance, every acting class performance, every showcase, every dance, sing. So we have such a quick shortcut to how we want to the things I want to do, the things I'm trying to go for, the things we're writing, and we wrote everything for everybody. So it's kind of tailored for everybody. So in that sense, it was very easy. Now with my parents, who are not actors, a little different story, but I really loved them in the piece, and it's just kind of charming to have some quote unquote non-actors acting in films. Although my mom was really serious about what she was doing, and my dad, he wanted more lines. He was like, "Can I get some more lines in here?" I was like, "Dad, you do have all those lines that you want to say. You may not be saying them, but you need to be thinking those in your head. You're on screen. We're seeing your thoughts pop. Just you don't got to say every line. That's it's like life. You're not saying everything you want to say, but guess what? You're thinking it. So just think it."
Yeah.
Well, no, that sounds amazing because to get your directorial debut and then to have that much of your support system around you as part of your cast and crew and everything there, that must have really been helpful for you in your process of doing this for the first time.
Yeah, no, it's great, man. A lot of ways I feel like everything me and my brothers have done, my sister, and our life in this career has all led us up to kind of making this movie. And it's by no means a definitive Filipino American film or anything like that. It was really kind of a love letter to my family and to the community we grew up in the Bay Area in Pittsburgh, California, and telling some of the stories of our family and even our connection of going back home. And we lean into the fact that we're Filipino and really represent for the community, but hope when people watch it, they understand it's really just a family story, an American family story even. And just and that the sense of the family kind of prevails through the whole thing.
So I gotta ask.
Totally.
I just gotta ask though. With having your family there, though, there had to have been some moments where there was some criticisms or something. They're just out of left field, and you're just like, okay, listen, I'm the director. You're working for me.
I mean, no, it was actually pretty cool. I mean, I've been producing Asian American films now for the last decade, and I've been able to hire my brothers, and like I said, we've seen each other do a lot of stuff. So surprisingly, on this particular film, it was all love. It was really a family affair, and it was really beautiful because I got to go shoot in my hometown, right, Pittsburgh, California, where me and my brothers came from, and my parents and my whole family's from. And the great thing about that is just not my parents, but all my uncles are in the film, all my aunts, all my extended family, and you know, when you leave your hometown and you go to pursue your dreams in Hollywood, you leave a whole community of people that root for you. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's great to kind of come back years later and shoot one in the hometown and have all these people in the film, you know, and to kind of get to see what we do. What we've been doing for, you know, like, what have you guys been doing? You know, they watch all the movies, TV shows and stuff throughout the years and buy the, you know, books and toys and stuff that your career kind of puts out there. But for them to actually be on the set, to be a part of something you're doing, to see you behind the monitor, it's just so cool to like look behind. My uncles are behind me, like, just, I don't know if they knew what was going on 100%, but they just are like, it just tickled me that they got to experience, we all got to experience together, you know? Yeah,
no, totally. Now, you and your brothers and your sister wrote the script for this, and you took a lot of stories from your family's history,
yes,
you know, as the jumping off points. So when you guys sat down to write it, was it very much like you guys said, it's like, oh, we got to make sure that this story goes in, and we got to make sure that story goes in, or did it happen more organically?
Yeah, more organically. I mean, the different vignettes have been swimming around my head for years. And the good thing is everyone, you know, I kind of started writing the whole thing off. Me and my brother Darian did the first draft, and my brother Dion came in, did a lot of the jokes and funny stuff, and he's hilarious. My sister came in to help strengthen some of the women voices, but they all know where all these stories come from. They know what we're stealing from, you know, per se, in our family life. And so, and the liberties we take. It's definitely a fictional story, but yeah, every single story, there's calamity in every vignette, and all that calamity comes from a real place, which is cool.
Yeah, that the approach of having 4 separate stories. So basically, in each segment of the film, one of the brothers gets to be the lead of the film. Your particular vignette that you star in,
yeah,
I found it because it's such a, like, an interesting kind of heartfelt story, and then it gets kind of dark humor at the end out of nowhere. Was that like something you're like, oh, I can't wait to drop the bomb on people with this?
No, I mean, I think part of that, the vignette is my and my brothers and our family, like, going home to as Americans, we're all immigrants from somewhere else outside of the Native Americans, and when you go to where you're from, whether it be the Philippines, whether it be England, whether it be Ireland, or, you know, Spain or whatever, right, China, there is a cathartic experience, and there's this thing that happens, and going home kind of awakens things in you. And I think that's beautiful. But then with the relationship aspect, it comes from a direct relationship that happened within our family history, where that happened, where a guy, you know, one of the guys, he left his wife for a high school sweetheart, and then she ended up having a heart attack on the honeymoon.
Jeez.
Like, that's real. Like, that's, wow. I mean, it's very, it's, you know, spoiler alerts and whatnot, but, you know, when you watch the film, like, how can you do that? But I mean, it's kind of funny too, but weird, you know?
Yeah, totally. Now, of course, the film debuted at South by Southwest this year, and I'm guessing you guys are still doing the festival circuit with it?
Yeah, we're traveling around, and we have some drive-thrus going on now that we're in COVID in the Bay Area. I think we're going to do a screening up there. We're doing a screening in it looks like in Austin, and there's more things coming in, but we're shopping the deal right now. So hopefully it'll be out to more people, just streaming wise soon.
Well, you mentioned COVID, and it was one of the things. I don't know about yourself, but with me and the wife, when we watch stuff nowadays, right, like that was filmed pre-COVID, or just, you know, like older movies, and seeing a world in which people are so close together, and like in your movie, like the family is super tight, like, and literally
it's a big family party going on, right? Yeah. Oh, man.
So like, I'm just wondering, like, when you look at it now, or, you know, like, does it kind of like somewhat freak you out a little bit, because you're thinking, oh man, like in the COVID world, we got to remember to stay apart, and we got to wear masks, and just
it does not freak me out, but it definitely does have that feeling. Like, I always feel, you know, pre and post, just like, right. It's if you want to do something that feels real, like, and you're out in the streets, you're at a Starbucks, guess what? There's a screen up there. There's going to be people with masks in line. If you're not doing that, it's all make believe, or it's pre-COVID, you know, so it's a period piece, you know?
Right.
Oh man, the great period pieces looking back on 2018.
2018, 2019. It's a 2019 period piece. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. It's really good. They captured the essence of 2019. It was fantastic.
The clothes were on point. You know, the technology was so accurate.
It's amazing. You know what? It's amazing how far we've come since then.
It's true.
Really
it's true.
Oh my God. It's with this film and with getting out there showing to people, I know that you have a history of also doing a lot of talks at colleges and high schools with aspiring actors and things like that. And I know you have plans to eventually bring the film out and show it to various community groups and stuff across the country as well. How important is it to you to get out there to talk to the youth of America about, you know, not just, you know, going after a career in entertainment, but just like going after a career?
No, very important. I mean, one of the great things that I get to do in my career now, like you said, is I get to travel around to colleges and drama schools and conventions and Comic-Cons all around the world. And I get to talk to younger people about their dreams and about following their dreams. It's so important because at this point in my life, in my 40s now, you know, it's really trying to just empower the next generation. I mean, you know, we're probably around the same generation, and you understand, like, the world's theirs. I always try to explain to them, I understand you guys feel awkward. You're in different places, and you know, there's a lot of people don't understand what you want to do, but that's okay. But the world's changed. The world's yours. You know, I talk to college students, and I'm like, this is the deal. There's a lot of you going to get out of college, and there's going to be guys my age working for you immediately. That's just, it's already happening in Hollywood right now. And you're getting the keys to the car earlier than we thought you would be. My generation, a lot of people my generation are upset because we thought we were going to inherit everything. And actually, y'all got the keys. But with that, there's still room to learn from each other. We're learning so much from you guys, the kids right now, with social media and technology and everything. I'm sure you guys geek out about on this thing, which I do too. But they're doing it so fluidly. They're creating it as we go. We're learning and studying everything they're doing so just fluidly. But at the same time, there are things within my craft and all crafts that out there that still can be learned from our generation. There's bridges to be built. Acting doesn't change, directing, writing doesn't change. The distribution has changed night and day, you know, but the core parts of it. So my big thing when I talk to like the next generation is like, we're learning a lot from you. There's still a lot to learn from us. We can do this together. I feel like we're the gap generation, the bridge generation's bridging the old, you know, pre-COVID to the new kids.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, yeah. I'm always trying to get younger people to work with us to be like, can you show me how to do this? I don't, these computers. Oh my God, it's crazy. You mentioned conventions, and of course, in your career, you know, I always look at like an actor like Sean Astin and be like, that dude has had like a big moment every decade, you know, Goonies, awesome Rudy, then and then Lord of the Rings. And you yourself have had like two major cultural touchstone points with Rufio and Zuko. And so to be an actor, to have that opportunity to have had something that resonates with two different generations, how does that feel?
I mean, I feel more than anything lucky, you know, because I've been in the game a long time, and I have a lot of friends and family that've been in the game forever. And you hope that you get to do any work that anyone cares about ever, let alone them still caring about that work, you know, 10, 20, 30 years later, and they become iconic in their own way for certain generations. I just feel fortunate. At the end of the day, you know, we're just actors or filmmakers trying to tell stories. And what we ultimately want and hope to be a part of are some great stories. And I've been able to be a part of some great stories. And hopefully as a filmmaker moving on, I can tell some great stories, you know? So I just feel lucky, you know. The whole Comic-Con seems amazing. I didn't grow up in the geek world. I grew up kind of in the club scene in LA. And so when I got embraced by the quote unquote geek fandom world through Comic-Con, and I was so lucky to be a part of it right when it kind of became a buzzword in the world. You know what I'm saying? When Comic-Con blew up, and I had just started going to it, and Avatar just took off, and it was like Harry Potter, man. It was all of a sudden there was a whole new magical world out there that I didn't know really existed, and to be embraced by that world and the fans. I'm such a big fan of the fans. Like it's a relationship, you know.
Oh no, for sure. Like, and as you mentioned, right? Like you look at something like Hook, but especially for more current generations, looking at Airbender and its status within, especially the Comic-Con universe, Airbender
Crazy.
is huge. Like, not that Hook isn't, of course, because
No, it's just like different. I mean, they're different things. It's like weird. So like Hook is strange because I'm a Filipino American actor kid that became a part of something that's not even a franchise. It's Peter Pan. It's
Yeah.
a fairy tale. Like all of a sudden, I'm canon in a fairy tale that's been around longer than anyone on this planet's been alive, and it's going to be around longer than anyone here is going to be alive. It's going to be around forever. And it's crazy that you became a part of a canon in a fairy tale, right? That's wild. And then the other wild thing is when I started dealing with Avatar: The Last Airbender, I'm a big fan of Star Wars. I'm a big fan of Harry Potter. I'm a big fan of these world building worlds and these new fairy tales, right? But to be a part of one from the beginning and to see it grow and to see what it becomes, and you're going, well, hold on a second, what? Am I part of like the new Star Wars? Like what? Like who am I? And then your character becomes this beloved character. You're like, am I Han Solo? Like what's happening? This is crazy. I mean, it's mind blowing, and believe me, I don't take it lightly. I feel very fortunate for that.
Well, and I gotta imagine, like, now that you have all of that success behind you, right? Like that's happened, that exists, and you can, and people are still coming up to you, obviously, to this day, talking about those things. But now with your film, now you get an opportunity to, get to reach a wider audience than maybe you would have had you not had those two huge touchstones, who are now going to be able to come in and check out what you're working on. That must also be quite a great experience for you.
It's great. I mean, it's great that there's a part of the community that sees me as a pioneering Asian American actor, and I've been a part of all those conversations that led up to Crazy Rich Asians and friends with a whole new generation of filmmakers. But it's also great, when you go to conventions and you meet the fans and you really have great connections, one-on-one connections, right, and in-person connections. A lot of times you make fans for life, and then you have a lot of these people that are rooting for you, and it's I've been so. Again, just feel fortunate. I wrote a book called From Rufio to Zuko before COVID. I was on a tour with it, and we did like Barnes and Noble signings like at New York and LA. And Barnes and Noble's like, it was the biggest signing we've ever had in New York and in LA. Awesome. And you're like, wow. But I know that's directly from the Comic-Con scene. You know what I'm saying? And, yeah. And to go, these guys that really appreciate aspects of my career are continuing to roll with me and to support me, or at least root for me on other things outside of the fandoms that they grew up with, and really just kind of root for me to kind of move on to support any other stories I want to tell in the future. It's really, I don't know, I just feel very fortunate as an actor.
Oh, definitely. No, that's very awesome. Yeah. Fandom, that's one of the positives of fandom. Definitely.
Yeah.
Now, before we wrap up here, because I know you're in Vegas right now.
I'm in Vegas.
We don't want to keep you away from the tables too long.
Keep it rolling.
Have money. But before you go, just want to ask you about something. So was it your brother or your cousin that's a property manager for the mansion that was used in Big Lebowski?
That's my brother. That's
your brother. And you guys get to, you guys
know about that one. That's classic.
Yeah. You guys have played tennis there a few times?
We have. I mean, he has a really great, beautiful tennis court overlooking. It's probably the most beautiful tennis court in Los Angeles, overlooking LA, and it's a purple court. And a lot of guys like Federer come and play up there because before one of the, tour spots here is a purple tennis court. So to train, they train on a tennis court, and it's the Goldstein match. It's a LA classic spot. So when they're not working on days, we may get the opportunity to go play tennis up there and hang out and. Goldstein's around sometimes. Say, hi, what's up, man? We just want to play tennis if you're not using it.
Yeah. Then maybe walk by the pool, see if somebody will suck your cock for $1,000. That sort of thing.
It's like walking in a music. That house you walk around is like walking around a music video for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my God. Well, Dante, it's been awesome talking with you, man. I really look forward to people getting to check out this film because I had a ball with it. I had a lot.
And I appreciate you watching the film. I love that.
Yeah,
so good, man. So good.
And people can find out about the film where online?
Yeah, you can follow just my Instagram at Dante Basco, or the film's Instagram at Fab Filipino Bros, and it'll be you'll get updated on all the latest on the film.
All right, awesome, perfect. Man. Thank you very much. Have yourself a great night, sir.
Thank you. Hope I flop, pocket aces. Let's go.
Yeah, there you go. Good stuff,
right.
man.
All right. Thanks,
Cheers.
Dante.
Have a
Bye.
good one.